welcome to the Citizen channel. Today we're going to have a regular look at issue 4 or number 4 of the City Digital magazine. Yeah, this is the December 2021 edition we're going to have a look at today. So join me in that. It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, you know, it's on the mcfc.co.uk website. It's on our main website. And it's pretty good, and I'm quite impressed with this set number 4, to be honest. A couple of good little things in it. Let's have a quick chat on what's in it anyway. So we got our little, of course, Portuguese hero in this one there on the cover. His cheeky little face, my namesake, of course, Bernardo, and of course the article concentrates on Bernardo, the very first article in this magazine. David Clayton interviews him and talks about him, etc. One of the questions he asked about was, what does he think of the fans' adulation? Does he get adulation? Yes, I think he does, doesn't he? I'm very grateful, to be honest, said Bernardo. From day one, the love that they show me every time I play or when they see me on the streets of Manchester is unbelievable. So I'm just very, very happy. Of course, he goes on to talk about Pep and what he likes about Manchester, etc. Not quite what we were hearing a few 3 or 4 months ago, was it, about about Manchester? But there you go. These things change, don't they, as time passes. Then it goes on to the regular Andy Morrison thing, of course, where he takes a look at the upcoming games and he makes predictions. I mean, you know, all credit to him. He puts his neck on the line. I think he got one scoreline right last month, but he didn't do too well. But I think we're all a bit out last month. A bit of a mixed bag, wasn't it? Let's be honest about it. But yeah, for the following month, I don't see much wrong with his predictions. Actually, he said, just as an instance, he said on the PSG game, of course, which we play very, very soon. We'll win this. This is what he says. And he says, why? Question mark. We were so much better than they were in Paris, but we just didn't take our chances. Regardless of their stellar forward line, we'll boss this as well and qualify for the round of 16 in the process. If we do win, he just said we did. Just said we would. It could even open the door for Club Brugge, though I expect both teams in this game to progress. There you go. So his prediction, there you go, 3-1. Yeah, pretty brave, but yeah, bold words. As I say, he's put his neck on the line. He comes up with the scoreline. All credit to him. So great stuff from Mr. Morrison there. And there's a feature, a nice little one. This is what I like about this month's magazine. It's more magazine-y. I know if you understand what I mean. It's a bit more what you get in a magazine, what I think a magazine is. And I try and make my little vlogs a similar sort of thing, covering different aspects of football and City in general, of course. And the next bit they've got is Panini. Yeah, Panini City stickers. So obviously looking at Panini and stuff with City over the years from 1978 when it was first done. They did pick obviously a big bunch of teams out and stuff and things like that. They pick sort of select players from clubs like City, etc. And of course, it goes up to the new ones now that have the women's football as well. Women's football Panini stickers. I think they've got the rights to the Premier League from 2019-20. So obviously, Panini, you've been doing that as well. So nice little piece. And some of the older ones, obviously, looking at people, things like Mick Shannon and Colin Bell, etc., etc. So that was a nice piece on Panini. Neil Lee writes an article on the newly medalled. He's got his medal, didn't he, a few weeks back? 67-68 league title medal, of course, of Stan Horn. I've done bits on him myself. I might even put a link on there for the feature I did on Stan Horn. That was much appreciated at the time. So obviously Stan talks about his time and Joe Mercer, Malcolm Allison, etc., etc. So a nice little article from Neil Lee on Stan Horn. A piece on keeper, yeah, the keeper, City fan, Kieran Slicker, who we saw for all of 13 minutes against Preston, didn't we, pre-season? He was stretchered off, remember? So he talks about his very brief debut with the first team, if you like, pre-season, and obviously how he's doing. And he's been at City for 10 years now already, so that's a good little piece on Kieran Slicker. Yeah, great debut that, wasn't it? 13 minutes, the poor bugger. Such a shame. There's a usual FPL roundup as Christmas approaches. Adam Gibson of FC Blue Moon, I think he's riding quite high in the table as they did this on the Fantasy Premier League, of course. Gives us some thoughts on the forthcoming festive season and a few tips, and there's a few little tidbits there. If you want a little tip from some guy who's doing well in the league at the moment, he was asked, just to conclude, one of the questions he was asked to the piece was if he could give one tip to someone struggling with their team at the moment or a new player, what would it be? And he said, I'd say don't be afraid to reassess your team. If you need to use your wild card early, just use it. I'm not too sure what he's on about. Don't sit there with the team getting no points. You see that quite a bit, but don't be afraid to do something about it. The quicker you act, the better you're going to be getting your points. It's difficult to keep one team and let it ride through and through. You're always going to get form riding up and down. It's striking that balance. Yeah, I did have a go a couple of years ago, and I got a bit bored with it, guys. I'm sorry, I just couldn't be bothered. I just couldn't be bothered logging in and sorting it out every week, and I didn't do very well, I don't think. But I'd give up I'd give about 3/4 of the way through the season, to be honest with you. The festive list. There you go. Here's a good one. There's some great stuff. Please, if you don't read anything else in this magazine, just read this. It's just brought a smile to my face, and for all the wrong reasons. Just a bit of fun with Christmassy names, of course. But I'll give you a couple of, just to show you what sort of level we're talking about in this little article of Christmassy linked players' names. Obviously, take a player's name and put a Christmas theme to it. So you got the first one of the two I'm going to mention now, which is sort of lets you know what level we're at, to be honest with you. Fabian Delph, which is okay, but Delph, D-E-L-F, as in elf, Fabian Delph. That's the sort of level we're talking about. And the Sven Days of Christmas, S-V-E-N, the Sven Days of Christmas. So there you go. That's the level we're talking. There's some cracking ones. So I mean, all right, I'll give you another one. Shay Given became Slay Given. I mean, that's the level, guys. So, but it's quite funny. It brought a smile to my face because I like stupidness like that. Tommy Doyle sends his second postcard home, of course, his second month in Germany, including him being very happy because he watched City beat United in the Derby game, so that was great. And even better, although he misses everything about England, obviously, while he's over there. He's obviously getting more used to it now. But his family going over at the end of November and early December, so that'd be nice for him, just be visiting just before Christmas. So he's pretty happy for that. So a nice little postcard back from Tommy Doyle. It's nice to see how he's getting on, isn't it? Roger Reed interviews Kevin Reeves, who talks about his footballing journey, his time at Main Road, etc. And of course, he retired early from the game at the young age of 26. I always thought he was older than that when he played for City, but there you go, and what he's been up to since then. So that's a good interview with Kevin Reeves, and obviously his happy memories of his happy memories of getting to a cup final anyway and scoring, but obviously it didn't sort of progress from there, did it, unfortunately. Then and Now, this is a great one. This is one of my favourites this week. Then and Now digs out a 1970s, this is what I mean about more magazine-y feel to it, a 1979 edition of Shoot, and remember the Focus On feature, which obviously had a player and asked him what he had for breakfast and what his favourite other team was and his favourite blend of tea and all this sort of silly questions. And obviously they dig out one with Peter Barnes, who's mentioned again in a minute. So obviously it looks at that. And what they didn't pre-warn him, but obviously they took some of the old questions from 1979 and then re-asked them to see what sort of answers. And obviously some of the answers change because obviously views change and his opinions change and ideas change. So it's just a couple to give you an idea. I mean, this first one made me chuckle a little bit. I mean, they did ask him what was his weight, and obviously back in 1979 it was 11 stone, and now it's 13 stone 7. You done well there, mate. That's pretty reasonable, to be honest with you. 2.5 stone, I think I'd probably say that. I think I'm about 3.5 stone bigger than I was way back in the day. Maybe fighting weight, if you like. And just his best country visited, for instance, at that stage in 1979. He's only a young man, don't forget. It was Switzerland, and now it's Japan. Yes, a place I've never been. So that's a great feature, that then and Now it's called, and they look at the Shoot thing. And there's a great there's another piece on No Shortcuts to the Top. This features City women's Caroline Weir, the first of a couple of women players. He talks about a time at City and some great downtime images as well of what she gets up to there when she's away from the club, obviously all done through the club. It's not done through a mate, is it? But it's nice to see those images of Caroline Weir. Marc Riley's regular mixed grill is again another good one this week or this month. He's focusing on a legend within the local Manchester music community. I've not heard of the guy, to be honest with you, but you may have done. Les Hare is not only apparently a hardcore lifelong blue, he's also the man behind one of the finest record emporiums in the whole of the UK, King B Records in Chorlton, Manchester. There you go. ago, so I've been through Charlton many times. I probably have noticed it and not noticed it, if you know what I mean. But there you go. So that's a great sort of question answer. Obviously, age-wise, is similar to me. So a lot of things would say this sort of stood out for me. He asked him what his most favourite Man City Terrace song or chant and why. And he brings up this one. I've nearly sang this a couple of times myself, and we don't have to sing it much these days. But when we're at Main Road in the old days and things weren't going so well, and I'm talking the 70s, and obviously before the disaster of the 90s, but we used to sing "We'll Support You Evermore." It was like we were losing a game with about 10 minutes left. We just used to, "We'll support you, Man City, we'll support you ever," and that used to be our go-to song. In the same way we probably sing "We Love You City, We Do" and all this sort of thing now. But he said his favourite song is that one. It should be revived. I agree, but if I started singing it in the South Stand, I think I'd get some funny looks, wouldn't I? But I might do it one day. I'd have a few beers, and I might, if we lose in a crucial game and it all goes quiet, I might bang it out. But hey, I'll tell you what, if I do it, promise something for charity, and I might do it, guys, at a match, but we'll have to be losing. So you can't sing it when we're winning, which is most of the time, isn't it? But there you go. And another oldie he liked, apparently, is "We'll Drink to Colin the King," but that gets enough shouts now, but I don't like the new version, because the new version just pauses and you don't know when to start it again. I'd rather just sing the old version through and through, to be honest with you. But hey, there you go. What do I know? That's how it is. Right, Alaina Kennedy, another woman's player. She's a Q&A. She's only been with the City for a few months. She talks to Caroline Oatway. Yeah, she's about what she's doing and how she's found it at the club so far and why things aren't going quite so well. Although she did say things look as though they're improving. Although, as I'm recording this, they've just been stuffed 4-0 by Chelsea at the Academy Stadium. So perhaps not so good. But so that's Alaina Kennedy. And there's a review, of course. We're going back to Mr. Peter Barnes, a review of Gary James's biography on Peter Barnes. And so the summing up for this little book, hopefully I'll get one day. It's just a little bit expensive for me at the moment, to be honest with you, to do a little feature on this. I can't really, I get a lot of my books second hand when they're a bit cheaper. I can't really go buying all it. I'd love to have it. And there's another one as well, Man City 101 shirts, and I'd love to have that as well. But I'm saying I have to perhaps at Christmas I might get a couple of gifts, who knows. The authorised biography, and they sum it up, this review. This is the perfect book for any blue, of course it is, wanting to relive those days or wants to learn about one of the club's legendary figures. Oh, and if you're wondering where the cover came from, it's based on the packaging and advertising for the cult toy from the late 70s, the Peter Barnes football trainer. And if you're an old bugger like me, you'll remember all about that. They pick a best 11, don't they? The best 11 this time is called Techers. Yeah, so Techers obviously players with technical ability. So they get the squad up there. It should be on screen there, the 1 to 11, the subs as well. And they do give the reasoning behind why they pick certain players. Obviously, some names are there we expect. Perhaps there's some names missing that we don't expect, but it does give the reasoning behind why some have been picked and why some haven't. Kevin Cummins, again, his piece in this he shares, obviously, he goes back to his book, which is I was having a quick look at this. I was hoping to try and get a copy of this, but you're talking hundreds of pounds for this one. His special We're Not Really Here book was obviously the last days of Main Road and the images and pictures taken, etc. He does have one himself, a signed copy, but that's just a bit expensive for me, to be honest with you. But so he shares some of his pictures, of course, on Main Road, obviously saying goodbye to Main Road. So that's a nice little piece, Kevin Cummins. If you've got that book, having said that, if I wanted to loan it, flipping heck, it cost a fortune to insure it in the post, because I wouldn't trust the post as far as I could throw them these days, to be honest. I keep losing things all the time. But for that sort of money, you have to pay hundreds of quid for these books, to be honest, even on eBay and Amazon and other sites. They're very, very expensive. David Clayton on The Last Word, that's the last piece of the magazine, of course, talks about Boxing Day games. Yeah, I mean, not my favourite. I'll be honest with you, I've never been a big Boxing Day fan. I've sometimes hoped they'd been away and far away where I couldn't go, but obviously I've not been getting to many away games last few years anyway. But so I've always hoped for an away game where I couldn't get to it, and because I'd rather be home. I'm sorry, I love City to bits, but I will go, and I've gone to many Boxing Day games, but it doesn't. It's not right for me. I don't feel right doing it, to be honest with you. It's just a bit with me, just a quirk with me. But obviously David Clayton enjoyed it with his mates, and he talks about obviously the game was spotting what guys have got for Christmas. I mean, you can use it, brand new trainers or whatever. You can just look at the supporters and sort of gauge what they've got for Christmas, stuff like that. So he has a quick chat about Boxing Day games. So there you go. That finishes off. Not a bad December effort, actually. Probably, I mean, I read through it. I'm not overly interested in the women's bits, to be honest with the women's articles. Excuse me, fraudulent slip there. Forgive me. I'm not so interested in the women's articles as such. But yeah, it sort of took me about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to read through. I'm a quick reader anyway, to read through all the other stuff. So, yeah, it's good. And you can pick up little sections through it. You don't have to read it all in one go. Just pick a section out and read that, and just for a couple of minutes while the adverts are on in between your favourite TV, and you can't fast forward through it if it's on a hub or something like that. So, yeah, I thought it was good. I thought this December's a lot better. As I said, it's, to me, a little bit more magazine-y, this. This is what I want from a magazine, different things, different subjects with the Panini and the book reviews, stuff like that. That's what a City magazine should be for me, as far as I'm concerned. So there you go. Yeah, my favourites, would probably have to be the Peter Barnes shoot feature, of course. As I said, I did spend a couple of hours Peter Barnes in a charity football match once. Had a good time, had a good laugh with him as well, and him and Gary Owen. So I do have some previous of speaking to the guy, and he's a wonderful, great bloke to chat to. And of course, Marc Riley's interview with, with Les Hare, I like that as well in the magazine. So there you go, the December issue. Get over to the City site and have a scan through that, or get it on your phone, or get it on wherever you want. And I read, it's easier to read on a laptop, but it doesn't take a minute on your phone to scan through it and have a good read through it. Some good images as well on there. So anyway, have a look at that, see what you think. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. What are we going to do rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families, more importantly. Let's all look after each other. Till we meet here again on the Citizen channel. Or perhaps, please have a look at my film and TV channel as well. I'll try and inform and entertain on there as well if I can. So if you get there, give me some likes on there, guys. I never get as many likes on there as I do on my football one. So get on there, have a quick look, and join me for a film review or a TV drama review or something like that. And give us a thumbs up. That'd be fantastic. Help us out on those as well. It's real. I love doing them. Not as quite perhaps as much as I love doing the City ones, but not far behind. I'm a big film and TV fan, as you know, as well as a massive. It's in your blood. Your football team, isn't it? Simple as that. But I was brought up with films as well from my parents, so a big part of my life as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Till the next time, please, all I ask, stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.